Mary Lynch, and I just moved to Kentucky about a year ago. I'm a nurse. I have three children, 15, almost 14, and an 8-year-old who thinks she's a teenager. And they keep me very, very busy.
What got you into the world of fitness? Was it something that you've been passionate about, or is it something kind of newish to your life?
Well, I'm not really new to like fitness, but I guess you could say I took a long break from it because I had, mom duties for a while. But I was a gymnast growing up. I played volleyball, softball, basketball, baseball. I played all the sports, and I did some weight training back in the day, like in high school and stuff. So, but I've never done any bodybuilding. And I think just one day, like in 2019, I told my friend, I was like, I'm just so tired of this mom bod. I feel just tired, exhausted. I can't do fun things with my kids. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start working out. And then we met this chick in the gym and she's like, oh yeah, I do bikini competitions. And I was like, maybe if I got into a little bikini, that would like really like give me a goal to lose the weight I wanted to lose, because I've lost weight and gained it back, lost weight, gained it back. And I was like, this time it's all for good. Like, I'm not ever going to do this again. So yeah, I was like, I think I'm going to sign up with a coach, and found me a coach like the next day. My friend was like, girl, you are crazy. And I was like, no, I'm on a mission and I'm going to get rid of this mom bod, because being a gymnast, I was tiny and I'm really short. I'm 5'3", and I think when I started with my other trainer, I was about 170 pounds at 5'3". That was very unhealthy. And so I was like, I've got to get this weight off. So yeah, it was May 2019 when I started with my first trainer for bikini competition.
Did you
Right.
have any time at the beginning when you were first training when it was like kind of like second thinking it, or times where it was like, well, maybe I'm pushing myself too hard, anything like that?
No, I know I think it was like a week or two before the competition. Like, remind you, I knew nothing about bodybuilding, have never even been to a show. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready. I was on Instagram scrolling like all the pros, and I'm like, oh, I don't look like that, like, I don't think I'm ready. My coach is like, no, girl, you got this, you're ready. And so like, I had no clue really what I was getting myself into as far as like competition went, but I'm super competitive. So I wanted to make sure that I brought the best package, and I'm very dedicated to like making sure I get my water in, my food in, and everything like they tell me to do. I'm like, okay, I got to get this done. And I followed it to a T. And for my bikini competition, I trained for, I think it was like 16, 17 weeks. It was like 4.5 months that I went from mom bod to bikini. And I got first place in novice, second in open, and then first in masters. So that was pretty good for my first show. And then I was just like stuck. I'm like, I got to do this again. This is so much fun.
What were some things that was like, wow, I had no idea like bodybuilding and had anything to do with doing this, or like, was there any surprises along the way?
Well, I think a lot of people don't think about all the time that it takes, like in the gym. Like, towards the end, was doing cardio in the morning, and you're doing your workout, you do fast cardio in the morning, and then you have workout in the afternoon. And as a mom, it's really hard to make sure you get in all of your gym time and still take care of your kids and, be the mom that they need. So yeah, I think a lot of people don't go into it knowing how much time and effort that you have to put into it. Especially if you want to bring your best package to the stage. Another thing people don't always think about is it's expensive. The suits are expensive. My first suit, though, I ended up actually got two, but I got them on sale, or, like I try to not go like way out there. But for my last show, I did I did a national show this last year, and I was like, okay, if I'm going to be on the national stage, I'm going to splurge a little bit. I'm going to get like this brand new, like super nice suit. So yeah, I splurged on that one. But yeah, it's a very expensive sport because you've got a hair and makeup, you got to pay for it, like to actually do it. You've got to pay for your yearly NPC card. So this expenses just add up, and a lot of people I don't think really account for that when they're getting into bodybuilding.
When it comes to the food side of things, though, how did you handle that? Are you somebody who just doesn't mind like the dieting side of it, or like eating specific things, or is that something that was challenging for you?
I do have a sweet tooth, but if I like end up not having it for a while, then I don't really crave it. So, but like eating the same stuff over and over. And I'm one of those people that go to the restaurant and, you this is what you've ordered before. So like, I know that's good. So I'm just gonna order it again. So, I'm not I don't have a problem eating the same stuff every day. Like people at work tease me like, what you got? Your green beans, rice, and chicken. I'm like, it's like, it's different day, same shit. That's what I eat every day. So it doesn't bother me. I spice it up. Like you put different spices on it, or like with my oats in the morning, sometimes I'll put stevia and cinnamon, or I've now do this like low calorie, syrup. So yeah, I just change it up a little bit as much as I can, but it doesn't bother me. I've eaten it cold in the airport. You don't have a place to heat it up. You just eat it straight out of your lunchbox. So yeah, it doesn't bother me at all.
I think everybody, whether your goal is to like do a bodybuilding competition or just, become a little bit more fit, lose weight, whatever it is, we think of like the plan and we don't consider like the day-to-day things that occur. We don't take into account oh, I got sick the day, or my kid's sick today, or, the power's out. What am I going to do? Or,
Yeah.
a perfect plan is only as perfect as the day kind of goes a lot of times. And I think that,
Yeah.
that's where a lot of the separation comes between the seriousness of athletes, especially.
Yeah, and you don't want to ever get caught where you don't have your next meal. Like I am such a planner. Like I've already planned tomorrow. Like usually my days are pretty well, but like with my kids having so much after school activities, I have two that's in lacrosse, one high school, one middle school, so two different schools. And then another kid that does gymnastics. I just dropped her off. So I'm like thinking, okay, tomorrow I have a doctor's appointment for one of them. Like I'm not going to get to the gym until later. So let me change my meals around. So like I got to think of which meals I'm taking to work and I'm going to eat there and then have the next ones ready. Cause you don't want to be caught with like not the right food, because then you're going to make a bad decision.
So you've mentioned your kids quite a bit, and obviously it's a big part of your life. They're a big part of your life. How did they react when you started doing this?
Um, they were pretty excited. My older girls like to go to the gym with me. My little one, she was always wanting to come to the gym. She was able to when we first got here, but they don't have the kids part anymore. But like we'll do things here at the house too. I have like bands and kettlebell, and I just got a new cardio machine that I'm obsessed with. I did it today for the first time, or this morning, but she's like, Mom, when do I get on that? So they like to work out with me, especially the older girls. My oldest made a TikTok. It was like, no wonder nobody wants to mess around with me. This is my mom, and like had like all my bodybuilding pictures. So like, yeah, I guess she thinks I'm pretty badass mom. Like nobody's gonna mess with me. My mom's strong. Like, so yeah, they've been very supportive of my work. And my boyfriend, he's always supported me. Like he's the one that bought me that cardio machine for my birthday. So it's a pretty good birthday present.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to have that around you. And I feel like, that kind of influence towards your kids as well is cool to have. And, today's world where there's a lot more like technology and things that keep kids from even being active as kids. It's kind of sad to see, but, if you can almost show kids the importance and the benefits of exercise and eating right, and what it can do for you, and not just physically, but also mentally, because once again, it's kind of sad to see like so many kids and just people in general having kind of mental struggles, mental health struggles. But, I really do think that it ties back a lot into, at least for a lot of people, to the lack of physical activity at a lot of points. Do you see any truth in that?
Yeah, actually my oldest daughter, she's 15, and she had, someone she was dating and they broke up, and I'm like, just come to the gym with me, like that's going to help you. Like it's mental health. It helps. It's your outlet. I always tell them like, when I'm having stress, or, I'm a nurse. And so I have a very high stress job. And then with things around the house, just sometimes you just got to go to the gym. Like I say, the iron is my therapy. It's cheaper than a therapist. So I mean, she's like, yeah, I'll go to the gym with you, Mom. I really need to, get out some of this anger or stress and stuff. So like, I'm teaching that to my kids too. Like that's an outlet. And it's way healthier than going to, food or drugs or alcohol. So like, I'm just showing them there's other better ways to handle the situations that they're going to be facing very soon.
How have you seen some of the challenges that you maybe initially had, whether it be physical or mental? How have you seen those kind of shift and change? Like, do you find anything now that you have some experience in the world of competing, do you find anything new almost that's like, this is kind of a new challenge that I need to overcome?
Well, yes. So I started out bikini, and then last year I did wellness for a show here, the Derby. I think you are going to be at the Derby this year.
Yeah.
So I was at the Derby last year, did well, qualified for nationals, and did the national show. Well, I've changed to a different coach, Tyler Bedson, and we're kind of going the figure route now. And figure's harder. Like this posing, like I did posing with Laura tonight. I went over there and had a posing session with her, and I was like, man, like wellness, I had it, I loved it. Now I'm like, figure, man, like this is a lot of work, and that's where I'm struggling right now. Like it's not the gym or the food or anything, it's like the posing, and also finding time for posing. Like I'm already at the gym, I, cardio and the kids and work and everything. It's to find that extra time to really polish the posing, because that is a very important. I mean, you can look amazing, but you go out there with a terrible posing routine, like the judge, like it's not going to be very good for the judges.
What makes it though? What makes it more challenging?
Right. So with bikini and wellness are pretty much the same as far as posing goes, but you have quarter turns with the wellness. It's really sassy. I love that part about it. My Laura was like, well, it's not as sassy as wellness, but you still have the quarter turn. So that's still similar. Like I'll still do the quarter turn. So I have that part down, but it's just like, I'm not used to posing my back. Like for wellness, they're not really looking at your back. They're looking at your glutes and your hamstrings, so I'm like, not used to spreading my lats, and having my chest up and like just showing off the back part. So that's been the challenge for me, is getting my lats spread and all of that. That's the most part, really.
When you go from like, you know, training, prepping, and then competing, how do you handle kind of that time that you take after the competition? Is that something that's challenging for you, or is that something that you kind of look forward to?
Well, I get to the point usually in my prep where I'm just so hungry and I'm wanting sweets so bad. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and order this for the post show and this for the post show. I'm like, then I've got too much. Then I'm like sharing it with the kids and they're loving it, right? But yeah, it's kind of hard, like to have those sweets and then like to get back on track. Like I said, once I haven't had them for a while, I don't crave them. But then you like give me that little taste of that cookie or brownie or whatever, then you're like, man, I want another one of those. Or the Reese's are my favorite too. So that is a struggle, kind of like, okay, I have to say, okay, it's time for me to like reverse, or like if I've never really done back-to-back shows. I'm thinking about doing it this year, like one in April and then one in May. But yeah, the reverse part can be kind of challenging, especially after I've had that little sweet taste. I'm like, oh, now I don't have like a goal, but maybe a treat here and there. So like I just have to tell myself like, no, you got to slowly reverse this. Like you can't just get all crazy with like the treats afterwards. But I definitely like a brownie or a donut or something straight off the stage. I
No.
don't even want to wait, like straight off the stage. At first I got like cheat meals, and now I'm like at refeed meals. So I don't even get to be like looking forward to that. I get to pick out a meal. And then like he still had cheat meals where it could be like steak and potatoes or sushi. And I love both of those. But then now it's just like, okay, well, I'll get refeed meals, but I got extra carbs. So like, that's how I have to look at them. Well, I'm getting more rice or rice cakes, but I don't get to actually pick my meal anymore. So like, yeah, it gets kind of sad, especially when they start taking like my peanut butter away. I'm like, oh, like this week I was looking over my food, and I'm like making my food last night, and I'm like, oh, I don't have a banana anymore before. Like I don't have my little piece of banana for a pre-workout anymore. So yeah, it's just the small things that you don't think about until it's like, then it's on your list and you're like, oh, I can't have that anymore.
Taking that a little bit of time away, time off, to starting up, really training hard again. Is there any kind of habits or tricks or things that you use to kind of slowly get back into that?
Well, I stayed with the, well, actually, no. For 1 month, I took a month off where I did not even have a coach. I was in between coaches and I was like, I just want a month to myself. And my current coach was like, well, don't come to me all fat. Like, I'm like, well, I'm not going to get fat in a month. Like, I'm self-conscious about that. So it was funny. I like joked around with him whenever I did my first check-ins. I was like, I told you, like, I'm good. But so whenever I was doing my own thing, I was still very self-conscious of like what I was eating. Like I would still kind of plan my food, because if like I feel like if you don't plan what you're going to eat, then that's when you make the bad decisions of like running to fast food or something more convenient, instead of what is better for your body. So yeah, whenever I got back into it, like went back with the coach, it wasn't super hard because like I said, I still had cheat meals. My training increased, like I was lifting heavier, but I felt my energy was better because I was getting more food. So like you're not in that, I'm about to go on stage, I'm exhausted, I have no energy, my food's been low. Like, I've had a month or so that my food has been higher and my energy levels are up and I'm like really ready to get in the gym and just kill it and do like heavier weights and stuff. So that's how I just kind of transition. Once your body starts feeling that more energy from all the food that you've deprived it of for weeks, you just start feeling better. And I like to go in there and lift heavy. Like right now, some of the things that he has me doing, I don't lift as heavy, but I'm doing like 1.25, reps. So I'm like, okay, you can't go in there and go heavy when you're doing as many reps as you're doing. So
What do you think keeps you pushing to stay disciplined, stay structured, even though through all the sacrifice and all the kind of the challenges of it?
a lot of my friends are like, I don't see how you do it. I don't see how you can continue to eat the same stuff all the time, stay away from the fridge all the time. Like, well, if you knew that you had to get in this itty bitty bikini and walk across the stage in front of a lot of people, you would have that discipline, because I don't want to walk around in that bikini when I feel fluffy. Like when I'm doing my check-in, like whenever I was in off season and I'm like, got more weight on me, I'm like, oh yeah, it's harder. So if you put it in perspective and you know that you've got a goal, then that keeps me oriented and on track and disciplined, because I want to bring a better package than I had last time on stage.
What areas of bodybuilding do you think that you've evolved the most in?
Well, I feel like from the first show to my last show, probably stage presence. Like I've done like pageants before, but this is a lot different. So like I remember on my first show, my posing wasn't great. I was just like, I go back and look at pictures and I'm like, ew, that was me. Like, and then now, like, then I've seen pictures from like my last two shows. I'm like, okay, well, there's where I've gotten better, but now here I am doing figure. So we'll see how it goes this time. At least I know my transitions and how it works a little better on stage. But yeah, that's probably the most, I guess, I've involved, like, was with posing. I don't know about anything else really. Like the food and the working out, like has never really been a problem for me. Like going to the gym and doing what, like, I mean, if I don't know what he wants me to do, like he's got an exercise on there and I'm like, I just Google it and then I'm like, I video it and I'm like, is this what you wanted me to do? And like, wait for his response. He's like, yeah, that's perfect. Or no, like, and then he'll like send me a video and this is more like what I want you to do. So, I mean, I've only worked out with Tyler once in his gym for a back day, because we were like, he's like, we got to get these lats growing, like I want to show you specific lat work to do. So like doing online training that's just the way. It's like you gotta send videos to your trainer and have that feedback and communication with them, so you know that you're doing what they're wanting you to do.
Which one do you think has been harder for you, the physical side or the mental side?
Definitely the mental side of it. Some days I am just completely exhausted, not physically, just mentally. waking up so early, working. I work Monday through Friday, so the weekends are nice. I've got it scheduled now where like I on two, off one, on three, off one. So like I have Mondays and Fridays. I pick those as my off days just because those are 2 work days, and I have more time on the weekend to do my workout. So I just try to plan the physical part where that it helps with my mental part where I'm just not mentally exhausted all the time, and I can still give time to my family, because some days I'm just like, I just want to come home and go to sleep. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to meal prep for tomorrow, eat my last meal, and go to bed, So definitely the mental part of it is more challenging, especially when you've got a family and a boyfriend who eats whatever they want to. And then like you're over here eating your chicken and rice and green beans, and they're eating Chick-fil-A. My daughter works at Chick-fil-A. So like there's a lot of like tonight, my other 2 kids had Chick-fil-A, and I'm just sitting there drinking my water. So yeah, it's definitely a mental game at that point.
All this stuff, the scheduling. I think that's one thing that so many people use as an excuse. You could easily use it as an excuse, with kids and having being a nurse and all the craziness that entails alone. And then you throw in basically another full-time job of bodybuilding. Like, do you feel like bodybuilding has helped you become like more, realize that you can almost do anything at this point?
Yeah, I feel like, well, like you said, I have a very busy schedule. And if I can fit in these things, like I'm one of those people that I go all the time. My boyfriend's like, he calls me Mary Go-Go because like I just like always got to be doing something. So that's kind of how I've always been. And so now that I've filled these holes, like I guess that I felt like I had holes, I have more time, like, I have the gym to do or cardio. So I'm always going. And so that's just who I am. And I don't feel like that's ever been a problem for like I just know that I can multitask. I don't like when people use excuses like, well, I've got this, this, and this. I'm like, yeah, well, I also have those same things. And I even switch to night shifts sometimes. Like I got to work Saturday night. So like I'll tell Tyler, okay, the night shift's coming up, but I'm still getting my food in. You just have to change the way you're thinking. You got to plan ahead, and just say, okay, well, I know that this is going to be coming up. So this is what I'm going to do to change it. Instead of using excuses. Excuses is the easy way out. This is much harder. And very challenging. So you just change the way you think. There's no really good excuses to not do what you want to do.
Yeah. What do you think you've learned about yourself throughout this journey?
How to balance my workout life and my family life. Because I know like last year, my boyfriend and kids sometimes would say like, Mom, we really miss you. We haven't seen a whole lot of you. So that's why I'm super excited about this fasted cardio I can do here at the house and not like sleep in and then do it later. I'm like, here it is at the house. I might as well just get up and a little bit earlier and go ahead and do my fasted cardio. So my gym time in the afternoon's not as long because, add cardio after a workout, I'm at the gym for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, So I think it's really, I'm still working on balancing the family life and the bodybuilding life so that my kids and boyfriend aren't like, we haven't seen you all week. Like you're always at the gym. So yeah, that's something that I'm continuing to work on.
Having this experience you do in the sport and some success in the sport, what advice would you have for, young bodybuilders, whether that be young in age or young in experience?
I've noticed, because I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook and stuff, and I've noticed a lot of younger people on there like trying to do it themselves and not having a trainer. And I think like, especially when you don't know much about the sport, like I didn't know anything, but I was doing research and stuff, but I still think it's just better to have someone that has more experience than you train you, like, because they're always on there like asking about macros, like just get a trainer, they'll do it for you, you don't have to worry about it. Like, so like I feel like you definitely want to have someone that's going to be on your side that knows like the world of bodybuilding to help you get to where you want to be, because you can't do it yourself. This is not a like I can do all of this myself, especially if you start from where I started, like mom bod to bikini girl. Like yeah, I could not have done it without my trainers and without my support.
Yeah, I think having somebody there by your side is very important, and learning from the experience of others and the knowledge of others, and don't try to, learn it all for yourself, because there's only a finite amount of time, and you don't want to waste it by making the same mistake. Somebody else can just, save you that time. But it's been really cool to have you on here and talk to you tonight. I appreciate you coming
Yeah.
on, and
Thanks for having me.
absolutely. If people want to reach out to you, or if they just want to follow what you're doing on social media, where can they do that?
They can follow me on Instagram. That's where I post all of my fitness stuff. Too many other people on Facebook. I don't want to see all my Facebook stuff or my fitness stuff. So it's kind of long. My boyfriend gave me this name, but it's bikini underscore clad underscore goddess, like underscore warrior. So bikini clad. I think that's right. Is it right? Bikini clad warrior goddess or something like that. I don't know. It's so long. Like he gave me that name and I did it, and bikini clad warrior goddess, but underscore between each word.
All right,
You could
well,
probably just tag me in the so it'd be easier.
and I'll have that down in the description as well. So go check it out, and get motivated to get out there, and whether you're competing or not, just do something and stay active and be healthy. I think those are
With
I
no
think
excuses.
those are, yeah, absolutely no excuses. But like I said, it's been really cool getting to talk to you, and I look forward to following what you're doing, especially kind of being here local. It's cool to get to talk to you as well. So good luck
Right.
with the upcoming shows and everything.